Hey, do you like Resident Evil Village? Do you like Lady Dimitrescu? This is a visual novel, also a dating sim, and I'm guessing you can romance Dimitrescu and these other characters. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Warning: this game contains graphic depictions of mild strobe lighting, sexual suggestive content, alcohol and substance abuse, building, drugging, kidnapping, abuse, violence, gore, death, and body horror. Body horror? Player discretion is advised. The choices you make in this game may have consequences. Choose carefully. Okay. It arrives one warm August evening, after you've come back from a quick grocery run. The sun is just setting, turning everything inside the room ablaze. It's why your eyes are drawn to it. Drawn to what? Diary? Oh. 7. Secrets found. Oh, okay. The golden envelope shines under the light coming through the window, almost blinding you with its glow. You set your groceries down in the kitchen countertop before approaching the envelope, pondering its mysterious arrival. My headset's not on properly. Had you brought it in this morning, I'd forgotten about it. But how could you have missed it? It's too eye-catching. The envelope is gold, with the letter M imprinted into the heavy wax seal. Sam? Gillian? You call out to your two roommates, but they're not here. They must still be out at the movies for their date. Perhaps one of them saw the mail, a late delivery of the day, and took it in. The front of the letter contains your name and the address of where it came from. Romania? Who could be sending you mail from Romania? You crack open the pretty seal, a bit of a pity you have to, but your curiosity wins out. Inside there seems to be an acceptance letter and a brochure. The acceptance letter is printed on heavy and expensive paper, scented with something floral. You can't place a scent, but it makes your eyes flutter close momentarily. It feels familiar, almost like home. You don't know why it feels like that, but you open your eyes and push aside the thought as you skim the letter. Miranda's all-girls university would like to cordially invite you to be an incoming freshman in our school. Your eyes widen as you take in the contents of the letter and their implication. The school wants to offer you not only a position in their international student program, but also a fully paid scholarship. This has to be a dream. What school would do that? You aren't even traditional freshmen. You had graduated high school and decided to take gap years before going to college. You had wanted to travel the world, make some money, and take a break from education. Once you had felt ready to go back to learning, you had sent out applications to schools, but none of had offered you a good package. So why is this university offering you so much? How do they know about you? You open the brochure and analyze the photos there. Pictures of smiling students, scenic spots of the campus grounds, bustling clubs and job fairs, and campus-exclusive events like the pages line the pages. The programs and courses offered all seem so enticing as well. The school seems real. And if this offer is due, then you'd be a fool to reject free education. The scent of the letter wafts up to your nose again, and you inhale deeply, feeling that nostalgia for something. What does it mean? Whatever it does, you know you'll find it at the university. Time to pack my bags. I'm going to Romania. One long flight later, a few hours with campus administration, and here you are, a newly indoctrinated student of Miranda's all-girls university. You came here on a whim, but the college is real. The beautiful and idyllic campus is full of students going about their day. Even though classes start next week, already so many people are here. You're filled with excitement at starting the new path of your life. This is the start of the college life you've always wanted. The only question is, where should you focus your energy? Do you dare try your hand and body and soul on creative pursuits? Do you forego your studies in favor of having fun, unforgettable experiences, and making friends? Or do you want to give up your sleep and possibly your sanity in exchange for perfect grades? Oh, what would you focus on? The art major, the social butterfly, the scholar, the drifter. I am the drifter. I would probably like to have been the art major. Alright, here you go. The art major. The majority of students on this campus are enticed by this major. Some might even go so far as to call it the lifeblood of the university, but not all can handle it. Do you think you can succeed where countless others have failed before? If you're up for the enormous task, just remember, the arts demand blood, sweat, and sacrifice, and if you can't give a killer performance, it might be your last. Are you happy with this choice, or do you want to consider the other options? I'm happy. You decide you're going to be an art major. How that works out is entirely reliant on you and the choices you make. With your basic introduction classes picked out, you need one more class to finalize your schedule. I have to choose an elective credit this semester. Which one should I do? Women in art. That sounds informational, but I heard the professor's really tough. Theater? I used to act all the time in high school, but will I have time to dedicate myself to full stage productions here? Women in art? Women in arts it is. Alright. Professional boundaries. Birth of Venus, Lesson 1. I'm glad I was able to secure a spot in this class. Despite it being lecture style, the office of the registrar almost didn't give the spot to me because there's nearly as many people in the class as there are seats in the lecture hall. You wonder why this is the case. What's so great about this class? From what you've heard, whispers around the campus, the professor isn't an easy one. What reason would people have to actively seek out a tough class? You've also heard the professor is hot, but surely they're just exaggerating, right? Whoever picks a class for the hot professor, you could never be like that. Who's a professor? You probably want to study and do your best in class for yourself. But enough about classes. There's still a full day before you start, and you have some free time on your hands. You decide to head to the dorms. How cute. It's that Patrick. It's more Patrick. I guess I'll go. Angie is blasting music. A weird mix of what sounds like trumpets, sirens, and electronic music so garbled it can only be likened to hell. As she puts the finishing touches on her dorm, Daniela is sat sprawled out on the couches, polishing the wheels of her board until they gleam. Daniela notices you come in. Hey Rumi, ready for tomorrow? I guess. I have some free time, and I figured. Angie whirls over in between the two of you, grabbing your hands in hers as she finishes your sentence. You'd come drink with us? No, I guess. Why not? She blasts her megawatt smile at you, and you squint your eyes against the brightness of it, and at her absurd statement. What? Drinking at the local town bar? For good luck? How will having a hangover before class be good luck? You respond dryly, slipping your hands free from hers. Going out for a few drinks doesn't sound like a bad idea. We could do a toast to us being roommates and starting a new school year. You deliberate for a moment on this. Should you go out with them? It's not like you have anything better to do, and you don't want to seem uncool to your roommates. You're just getting to know them. I guess it wouldn't hurt to get one drink. Angie whoops loudly. 15 minutes later. What happened to getting one drink? Oh my god, they are plastered. You can't help from asking as Angie sits in front of you at the table, slamming back another entire mug of beer. She finishes it, burps loudly enough to wake the dead, and then tosses the empty mug over her shoulder where it shatters on the floor. You watch, unimpressed at her destructive actions. Never agreed to just one. Yeah, fine. She hiccups. Her words are slurring together. You glance over at Daniela, hoping for some support, but there's none to be found there. Daniela is swaying in her seat, saying "Kumbaya, my lord" to her mug before raising it to her lips and drinking half of the beer in one go. Your own beer sits 3/4 full in front of you. This is not the vibe you wanted right before classes. It's barely 9 p.m., and they're already slammed. Should we go home? Don't be a party pooper. Angie presses finger to your mouth before you can open it to argue the benefits of going home. Then she raises her hand and loudly calls out for the bartender to come bring more drinks. He dutifully brings a tray of shots, 6 shots, in fact. She nudges one into your fingers. To roommates. Daniela grabs one of her own, nearly sloshing the liquid out of it. To roommates. We've been toasting to roommates this entire night. You grumble. Pick up your glass. Fine. You sigh out and snatch it up. You clink your glasses against theirs and then swallow it back. It burns a path down your throat. Ugh, gross. Another one. No. Pretend to throw it over your shoulder. Yeah. No, that'll make a mess. Pretend to throw it over your shoulder. As they take their shots, you pretend to bring it over to your lips, only to toss it over your shoulder. A stranger behind you mutters something about, "Is the roof leaking?" and you quickly sit down on your glass, praying he won't know it was you. The alcohol catches up to you much more quickly than you'd expect, and you find yourself agreeing to shots with Angie. No way! Soon the three of you are giggling around the table about who knows what. You don't care because you're smiling so hard your cheeks hurt. Eventually, Angie sees someone she knows standing at the bar and goes and talks with them. You don't know where she'll be. Squinting your eyes over to where she should be standing, you can make out someone doing cartwheels. Oh god. You hope for her sake she's not doing those while drunk. Say, how do you feel about more shit? Daniela offers of more drinks, turns into a curse instead, and her eyes go wide. She sees something over her shoulder that scares her. Instantly, she dips. Blinking, you are left staring at where she was mere moments ago, and her cups are gone, and if she had never been there. Should you be concerned? I guess. You turn around to see what had scared her so, and crane your neck up and then even higher to fully take in the sight before you. Oh. A tall woman, who you've never seen before, is striding over to your table. She's wearing a coat with fur on the collar that does nothing to hide her curves or the swell of her chest. A black hat sits jaunty on her head. The night dark curls of her hair frame her face just right. As she nears, you have to crane your neck back more and more just to keep staring at her beautiful face. Except you overextend yourself. She only manages to open her mouth before you lean too far back in your chair and, with a complete lack of coordination in your body due to the alcohol, manage to slip out of your seat and hit the back of your head on the edge of the tabletop before you flop to the dirty floor. Oh my god. Embarrassingly, this is enough to knock you out. No! You wake up groaning quietly to yourself. Your head throbs in the back where you have hit it, and it throbs in the front from all the drinking. Great, just great. And to top matters off, you have no idea where you are. Certainly not the dorms. Oh, the bed you're lying on is way too big and fancy to belong to a college dorm room. Have you been kidnapped? By a vampire? Panic courses through your veins and you jump out of the bed. You regret doing that because a second later your head feels like it's going to split in two. You grab at it and hold on to the bedpost to steady yourself. When you feel alright to move again, you take a look at the room. Yup, clearly not a dorm room. The furniture here looks antique, and the vases and paintings on the walls look like they cost thousands. Best be careful not to step into any of them by accident. You reach the door and turn the knob only to find yourself in an even more expensive looking hallway. You recognize half the paintings from your art history books. Are they all originals? Where the hell are you? A low voice, dripping with sultry tones, speaks up behind you. I see you're awake. You took quite a nasty hit. You turn around and crane your head up and up and up. It's the woman from last night. What the hell is she doing here? That's the wrong question. Mysterious hot tall lady? Fret not, little one. I could not leave you in that hovel of an establishment. I had my personal doctor pay you a visit to make sure you're well. He left some medicine for you. I was coming to fetch you so you could take it. You're slack-jawed right now. So much is going on, and your head is hurting too much to think properly. I think I'll take you up on that offer. You just hope she hasn't done anything to the medicine, or that the medicine she's giving you isn't drugs. Well, yeah. She looks rich enough to casually give out cocaine as a housewarming gift. You follow behind her, accidentally becoming mesmerized in the way her hips sway in front of you. So mesmerized, in fact, that you don't notice she has stopped until you bump right into her. Embarrassed, you pull away from her. She turns to glare down at you. Sorry. You squeak out, raising your hands above your head to prove you weren't trying to do that on purpose. You'd slap your cheeks to get a hold of yourself, but that would only make your head hurt more. You instead follow behind her, keeping a bigger distance this time. She leads you through the winding hallways of this place and down the stairs to a fancy-looking kitchen, the only modern room in the mansion. She's outfitted with the She is outfitted with the latest technology, and on the giant kitchen island there's a full breakfast spread of the freshest fruit, the crispiest bacon, and the best fried eggs, complete with pancake stacks and more. You can't wait to eat. Hangover? You don't know her. The medicine the doctor prescribed, which is just pain meds, is on the table nearby, and you take 2 pills and swallow them with water. Despite your earlier hunger at seeing all the food, you know you're only a guest here. She's done you a huge favor making sure you didn't spend the night on a bar floor. Speaking of nights on bar floors, where is Angie, and where had Daniela run off to? You're going to have a stern word with both of them. You can't believe they caused this mess to happen the day before classes, and oh fuck classes. You snatch up your phone out of your pocket, but find it's not there. Neither are your normal clothes. What happened to my shirt and jeans? I had the maids take it. You couldn't sleep in such filthy clothing. The clothing on you now is made of satin. The shirt feels soft and comfortable on your skin. Did she just have clothing your size lying around? Oh whoa, sorry, this is a lot to take in. It's not every day that some random comes and helps you. She arches a brow. A rando? A random person. Where I'm from, there's a higher chance I'd have woken up in the parking lot of a Denny's rather than in a nice, comfortable bed. Who is this dentist that has people sleeping in his parking lot? No, it's You know what? Never mind. Your original clothing will be returned to you after they are washed and pressed by the staff. When is that? I have somewhere to go, and I don't want to be late. It's 6 in the morning, little one. Oh. You glance at the clock on the wall. Is it really this early? Why does it feel so much later? You should stay and eat. I had the chef make this. Of course you would have a personal chef. What doesn't this lady have? You had this entire meal made for me? Is it not satisfactory? Oh, she's mad. Her brows furrow angrily. I'll fire the chef of it. You rush to speak before the poor man can lose his job. No, it's amazing. I never had someone go out of their way to do this for me. You don't even know me. I was raised to be the perfect hostess. Besides, you were in need. It would be rude of me to leave you like that. I did also want to ask you a question. You pause in the middle of piling food onto your plate. About what? A shadow crosses her face. Where's Daniela? Oh. Portrait of Madame X. You freeze. Unease fills you. What does this lady want with Daniela? And what can you tell her? What do you tell her? Play dumb. Play even dumber. Tell the truth. I don't know where she is. She ran off. Truly. Truly. She looks you over thoughtfully. It's a shame she ran off. I only wanted to talk with her. What do you even want from Daniela? She's my daughter. I only wanted to make sure she wasn't going to get in trouble. She's a freshman. I merely thought to make sure she was all moved in and ready for her school year. Daniela's mom? They look nothing alike at all. Daniela is so relaxed and chill, and she dresses in sweats, while this woman screams opulence and feed me grapes on my lounge chair servant. They don't even have the same hair color, although you can't see where Daniela gets her height from. I didn't know. It's alright, I shall find her later. She always was the rowdy one of the bunch. Yeah, it's surprising that she's your daughter. I mean, she likes to play video games and skateboard, and you seem to like collecting high-end art like that portrait of Madame X you have by the staircase. Her eyebrows hike up at the casual mention of the art piece's name. You seem familiar with that work. How could it not be? There was so much scandal surrounding that piece when John Singer Sargent debuted it due to some saying her pose was sexually provocative. And do you find her pose provocative? She hums, eyes shining with interest. There is a lilt to her voice you can't quite place the meaning of. You chew on your croissant thoughtfully. It's been a long time since you found someone you can talk to about art. Yes, you had friends who were artists, but they were more interested in creating art and hopping on the newest trends rather than studying the classics or painters of old. There was a historical meaning and specific artist techniques that could be learned from older artworks. There were pieces surrounded in drama, artists whose lives were plagued by horrible events, censorship of pieces that had already been painted. This was also intriguing. Not at all. I found her pose powerful, inviting, and meant to intrigue. Daniela's mom smiles. I see you have an eye for women. I'm an artist. I have to appreciate the form. If I don't, how could I create anything? Come with me. I'd like to get your opinion on another painting I have. An original just like the Madame X one. Naturally, I would never sell it for replicas. Huh? You snag a muffin to take with you and follow Daniela's mom deeper into the house. What was meant to be a brief showing of one artwork turned into her showing you another piece and another. And she has so much to say about each piece. She is extremely knowledgeable about each topic, and you even learned a few things from her about the pieces. Your enthusiasm and questions endear you to her, for she makes a comment at the end of your 1-hour tour. I must say, you are adorable. Her eyes bulge at this. She thinks you're cute. Next to her, statuesque figure, you don't feel like you could compare to her in any way, much less be cute. What can you even say to this? Should you compliment her back? But telling her she's beautiful doesn't seem very flattering. Surely she must know this and have thousands of people telling her this. Yet thanking her for her compliment is a bit too dry. Your heart is pounding in your chest. What should you say? She's looking at you, and even though only a few seconds have passed since her uttering that phrase, you feel like it's been too long. Think, you scold yourself, panicking. You decide you want to tell her how you've enjoyed your stay at her mansion, despite the fact that she kind of kidnapped you and brought you here, when she speaks again. I made the right choice picking up the bar's stray. Stray? I'll be anything you want, mamacita, a roach, a piece of gum, the stone under your heel, just name it. Oh my god. A stray? Wait, this might be bad. Stray? I don't appreciate being called that. My apologies, my dear. I meant it endearingly. Somewhere the grandfather clock rings and you're alerted to the fact that so much time has already passed. I have to go. I don't want to be late for my first class of the semester. Fret not, I'll have my chauffeur drive you. This is a relief. You won't have to worry about using public transport. She leads you to the entrance hall, which is as grand as ever other part of the building. Outside, the car is waiting for you, as is the maid with your old clothes folded neatly into a bag. Thank you for everything, really. I would have been in much worse shape if not for you. You can repay me some other time, sweetling. She holds out her hand and you take it to shake. Her fingers are so long and limber and her hand is warm and soft and oh, she's saying something. You refocus your attention on her. My name is Alcina. Pleasure to meet you. You hastily mumble your name in return, then know she hasn't retracted her hand yet. You glance up at her and know she's waiting on something. What do? Lick the back of her hand. Let go first. Kiss the back of her hand. You lift her hand to your mouth, brushing your lips gently across her skin. She makes a noise of approval. Intelligent and well-mannered. I think we're off to a great start there. You walk towards this black... You walk towards the black waiting car. As the car drives away, you watch from the back seat as she closes the door and the mansion gets smaller and smaller. You'd never expected a night out for a drink to go this way, but it has. Meeting Alcina has made you feel tingly in a good way. You want to know more about her as she is entirely captivating, and you've never fallen head over heels for anyone before, quite literally. The fact that she is Daniela's mom makes things a bit awkward, but surely, nothing more is going to happen. Alcina sees you as a friend, most likely, no matter how deeply you've become entranced by her. She's impressive from what little you've seen and known of her. How could you not be taken with her? Her height, dear God, and her hands, you could imagine them being put to good use with... The chauffeur makes the announcement that you've arrived at campus, and you jerk from your thoughts, wiping the drool that has crept down your chin. Then Markiplier, write the script! You grab your stuff and head back to your dorm. You have about half an hour to get ready before class. You need a quick shower and a change of clothes, then you have to pack your book bag. You rush into your dorm and find Angie is snoring loudly from her bed and Daniela is packing her bag. You! Daniela drools when you loudly shout at her. You left me at the bar! Thanks for that, asshole! Daniela had the decency to look apologetic. Sorry. Why did you do that? I had to cover for your ass because your mother was questioning me about you. Daniela's eyes go wide. My mother? You spent the night with my mother? Why is her face getting red? Why does she sound so upset? She had to rescue me from the bar because you ran away and Angie left me. You're being loud right now, but even that isn't enough to wake Angie up. She keeps on snoring louder to match the rising volume of your voice. Daniela seems to calm down a bit at this. And she didn't invite you over for wine or anything? Why does that matter? Daniela let out a groan. She covers her face, embarrassed. She did, didn't she? She just told me I owe her for saving me, which is fair trade. I told my mom to stop trying to befriend my friends. She wants to be cool and all that so she can make sure everyone I hang out with is a decent person and won't do me harm. But it's just getting in the way of my friendships. She'll become friends with the people I talk to and then they'll fall in love with her for her charm and wit. Inevitably, when she rejects them, then it's hella awkward for me. It's even more awkward when the girl I like ends up liking her as well. Daniela trails off. You get the idea. She grabs you by the hand, squeezing them tight, a serious look on her face. Promising me you won't do that to me. Promising you won't end up crushing on my mom. It's weird. I'm sorry, your mom's hot. And you left me at the bar. You thin your lips. So this might not be the time to tell her it's kind of too late. In fact, you don't think you'll ever tell her it's too late. Then again, you don't plan on having anything happen between the two of you. Alcina just wants to keep an eye on her daughter through you, and you want to keep an eye on her enormous chest assets. Of course. You lie through your teeth. Daniela still seems immensely worried, but let's go. It was why I ran out of the bar. I didn't want my mom seeing me there. She's been breathing down my neck about college, and it feels like I have no room to do what I want. I have to go to class now. Daniela waves goodbye to you. You hop into the shower and wash up as quickly as you can. The conversation with Daniela took so long that even with the shower being cut short and with your running across campus, you're still 5 minutes late to class. Your mom is Lady Dimitrescu. I wanna smash. You stumble into the class, almost tripping over your feet. You barely manage to save yourself from face planting into the floor. I see someone has two left feet. Did it prevent you from getting to my class sometime? Oh, your brain recognizes that voice, and you direct your eyes to where the board is. The truth of the matter is only compounded. The woman who rescued you from the bar is your women in art professor, Alcina Dimitrescu. Self-portrait as the allegory of painting. Alcina looks as well put together as she did this morning, which feels like it had occurred over a century ago. Her hair is coiffed perfectly at chin level, a few strands swooping over her right eye. You stare dumbly at her. If she recognizes you or is horrified by the situation, you can't read it on her face. Well, are you going to stand there all day with your mouth open, catching flies, or are you going to take a seat and stop distracting my class? There's a scatter of laughter coming from the 200 plus students already seated. You shrink in embarrassment. Asina turns to them, annoyance in her gaze. What are you all laughing about? Her stern voice shuts them all up. You trudge up the stairs and take an empty seat all the way in the back. Alcina begins her lecture by going over the syllabus and what will be expected of this class before going into an introduction of women in art. It is dead silent, no one even daring to whisper while she speaks. You catch a few students looking at her dreamingly and sigh under your breath. Seems you're not the only one who has the hots for her. But coming into this class had been like someone dumping a cold bucket of water all over you. Not only is Alcina Daniela's mom, and Daniela has begged and warned you to stay away, she's your professor. You're absolutely not going to get involved. You spend the entire class resolving yourself to this fact and trying to get over your crush. Easier said than done, as you can't help but appreciate how powerful Alcina looks standing up at the podium in front of the class. She commands everyone's attention. The passion with which she speaks, the confidence with which she carries herself. You shake your head and try to focus on the lesson. When class is finally over, you slip through the students, hoping to get out unnoticed. A word, after class. You freeze. Damn it, so close to the exit. You wait for her by the door, watching ruefully as other students get to leave. A few loiter behind to try to speak with her, and she humors their questions, but it is clear she wants to leave. When at last she has dismissed the last student, she turns to you. Do you have class after this? No? Walk with me. I'd like to talk. You gulp at this, but comply with the order. The two of you walk across campus. What do you say to her? Is there anything you can say? Before you can start a conversation, she speaks. How's Daniela? Her tone is softer here, like it had been this morning. You feel relieved to hear that. You had been worried she would be upset with you. Good. Asina lets out a weary sigh. I'm relieved she made it back from the bar safely. Honestly, what was she thinking bolting like that? I understand that it must be very embarrassing for her to have her mother working at the same school she attends, but my other daughters don't seem to mind. They're also on campus? Yes. Bella is a junior and my eldest. She leads the student council. She works closely with Miranda, the president of the university, to make this campus a better place. Cassandra is a sophomore and the middle child. She stars in the campus theater shows, and once she graduates, I intend to have her playing in my theaters on Broadway too. You gasp at this fact, though it shouldn't surprise you by now. You own theaters? Alcina laughs, and it is rich and velvety. Of course, the arts are very important to me. And what of Daniela? Alcina frowns at this, thinking over her words. She's the youngest. She hasn't specialized in anything yet, or shown much interest in things other than video games, or skating, or hanging out with those good-for-nothing losers. Alcina smiles apologetically. Not you, my dear. I mean those people she meets that motivates her to goof off and not pay attention to her studies. I'm sure Danielle will find something she likes. You feel the need to protect your roommate. Alcina is demanding of everyone, it seems. I hope so too. It worries me that she might have lost the Dimitrescu touch. Dimitrescu touch? Alcina elaborates graciously. Cassandra is stellar at acting, and she can sing, dance, and play music. She has mastered the majority of the arts and has captivated the hearts of many, not to mention captured several awards for her performances. Bella is sharply focused on her academics, especially towards literature, and runs several successful projects when she's not busy volunteering for the community. She has more than a dozen scholarships to her name, and her grades cannot be beat. There's a clear pride in Alcina's voice as she speaks of her daughters. I myself sing, dance, act, and sculpt. At this, her expression droops. As for Daniela, I'm not sure what her strengths are. She doesn't seem motivated to do anything. She picked up guitar once, and she's decent at it, but she refuses to do anything else. Ah, you're pretty sure you've heard that way more than you needed to know. It sounds like Daniela has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. Why wouldn't Who wouldn't want to give up if her sister was successful like that? She just needs some time to come into her own. Everyone matures or finds success at their own pace. Alcina mills is over before nodding her head. You've put it wisely there. I feel more reassured for the time being. Do please keep an eye out for her if you can. I don't want to be a bother before I will stay away from her on camp. Oh wait. I don't want to be a bother, therefore I will stay away from her on campus. What do you say? I won't spy on her. Sure. You nod your head yes. I'll do it if it makes you feel better knowing that what she's doing every second of the day. I'm not asking you to spy on her, merely to alert me if anything untoward happens. Her hands she hands over her business card. It has her number on it, in gilded golden letters on a white background. And is that the hint of her perfume on it? It smells rich and heady, a touch masculine. You inhale sharply, forgetting where you are momentarily before panicking, holding in your breath and pocketing the card. She arches a brow but does not comment. Take care, I'll talk with you later. She hurries away and you let out the breath you were holding, your heart racing in your chest. Alcina has given you her phone number on a business card, because of course she would. You're torn between being elated and horrified. You promised Daniela you wouldn't interact with her mom, yet here you are with Alcina's personal number. It's not good. You decide you need a moment to compose yourself. You stop over at the cafe. What do you order to drink? Tea? A depresso espresso. Iced water with whipped cream. What? Sure, a depresso espresso. What do you want to eat? Muffin, cookie, small sandwich. Muffin. You wait in line and the barista named Elena takes your order. Before you can pay for it, someone swoops in and hands their black card over. Elena takes it, looking unimpressed as she swipes. You turn back to see who has done this. A brown-haired woman with a wide smile on her face is standing behind you. It's on me. Thanks. Sorry, who are you? The woman takes her card back and you both step out of line to let others order as you wait for your order to go through. I'm Cassandra. You're rooming with my younger sister. This must be Cassandra Dimitrescu, the golden middle child. Oh, I've heard so much about you from your mother. Blurts out of your mouth before you can stop it. Cassandra's eyes go wide. My mother? Was that not a good thing to say? Thankfully, your name is called out and you hurry over to the barista. You hastily explain yourself so you don't sound like a creep. Your mother is my professor, and she knows I'm rooming with Daniela. Cassandra gives a low whistle. You're taking mom's class. That's rough. She makes everyone work for their grades. That's what I keep hearing. You trail off despondently. Elena hands you the drink and food. In a low voice, she warns you. Be careful with that one. She's a horrendous flirt. Oh. Looks like Alcina forgot to mention about her daughter. Either that, or she didn't know. You thank Elena for the food, and Cassandra follows you out of the cafe. Why is she following you? Can I help you? You arch your brow at her in question, and she smiles warmly at you. Just trying to get to know you better. You are my sister's roommate, after all, and I'm coming over later for game night today. Game night? This is the first you've heard of that. I was hoping you would be more relaxed than Angie. She once tried to bite my fingers off, and not in the way I like. She winks at you. Is she trying to hit on you already? No wonder Angie's teeth came out to play. Can we talk later? I have an evening class I need to get to. Cassandra waves goodbye to you. See you later then. Okay. You manage to sit through the other two classes of your day with no issue before you head out to the dining hall to eat. 7 p.m. finds you back in your dorm and you head to your room and close the door. Then you lean on it and exhale. Today has been quite the day. What should you do? Women in Arts is an interesting class, but do you think you can withstand the entire semester of that class with Alcina at the helm? What will you do? No, continue. No, of course, you won't drop out. You're not going to give up that easily. So what if your new professor is someone you're kind of crushing on, but who is also your mate's mom? Where could things go wrong? Just don't do anything. Olympia. The game night you were not aware of starts at 9 p.m. The game night you were not aware of starts at 9 p.m. Snacks, drinks, and games are all set up, each person bringing their own. Angie is mixing drinks, and Daniela is setting up the right music for this evening. Are both sisters here? This leaves you, Cassandra, and Bella standing around waiting for Daniela and Angie to rejoin. Fuck. Daniela's two older sisters are intimidating. Cassandra is a good head taller than you, but her sister towers over you and her both. Cassandra seems to have this natural magnetism around her, her relaxed posture oozing with confidence. Her. Yes. Bella sounds more upright, back held, ramrod straight, a dour expression on her statuesque face. In comparison, Daniela is a golden retriever in human form, cute, cuddly, and harmless. Cassandra keeps giving you flirty little smiles while Bella glares at you the entire time you stutter through a conversation with them. So, how's school so far? Not challenging enough. Okay then. I'm excited to meet all the lovely students that have come to campus. Cassandra winks again at you, and you feel your cheeks flush uncomfortably. Bella scowls at Cassandra. Must you do that? It makes my stomach turn. Cassandra pulls a face as she mocks her sister. Sorry that not all of us can be heartless bitches. Oh my god. Bella grits her teeth. This seems to be a point that sets her off greatly. If you want to make it a goal to pick up every last STD known to the human race, go ahead. Now Cassandra looks simply incensed. She opens her mouth to respond, but Daniela has finished setting up the music and slides up to you. Rumi, these are my two older sisters, Cassandra, who's a campus theater star, and Bella, who runs the student council. You already know about them from Daniela's mom, but you won't mention that you've talked with Alcina again. You don't want to worry Daniela. It's nice to meet them. Drinks are ready. Angie announces from the kitchenette, and you gratefully hurry over. The concoction she's made smells and tastes great, and you gulp down a few sips. Angie scowls when she has to hand hers over to Cassandra. I'm keeping my eyes on you. I know, it'll be hard to take them off of me. She smiles at Angie, and Angie scowls harder. You sense a history between these two. What has happened the last time they interacted? The sisters head over to the couch to start debating over what game they should play first. You stay behind to check up on Angie. Hey, are you alright? I'm fine. Do you press her? I kinda wanna press her. What happened? Angie sighs heavily. Nothing much. It doesn't seem like nothing much. Angie thins her lips, thinking it over. She opens her mouth once before closing it again. She squints her eyes at you. You won't laugh if I tell you. Why would I laugh? Angie shakes her head. It's just that a few days back, before you got here, Cassandra and Bella both came to help out Daniela with moving stuff in. One of my flowers fell out from my flower crown, and Cassandra tried to put it back into my hair. Angie squirms a little, clearly embarrassed to be bringing this up. I may have overreacted and snapped at her fingers. She had to go to the on-campus nurse because of that. Angie's cheeks turn a bit red to admit this. But how sharp are Angie's teeth? You try to subtly look at her mouth as she talks, but then her teeth look normal to you. It was just that she made a flirty comment beforehand, and I assumed the flower thing was her trying to flirt again. Angie shakes her head angrily. I hate anyone that tries to flirt with me. That surprises you. I thought Angie was extremely easygoing. Flirting was a big no-no to her, it seemed. You wonder if something had happened, or is it just his personal preference? Have you tried telling her this? She knows. She's working on toning it down around me, she said. Angie shakes her head before you ask any more. Her frown turns upside down as the bubbly Angie you know returns. Let's stop talking about serious stuff and have some fun, alright? With a whoop, she grabs you by the wrist and drags you to the table. The game night goes on for a bit. You cycle through several games, laughing and screaming and having a good time. The drinks get drunk, and by the end of it, your head feels light and you have some goofy smile plastered on your face. Even stoic Bella seems to have loosened up a bit, though she has refused to drink a drop of alcohol the entire night. I'll take her back. Bella stands up, holding onto Cassandra, who is red-cheeked and grinning widely. If I don't, she might accidentally fall into someone's bed and cause more heartbreak in the morning. No, I won't, silly. I have my own bed. She slurs her words and pokes Bella in the cheek affectionately. You might not, but let's not forget about the dozens of fans you have, or all your ex-girlfriends, or those awful stands that creep around campus searching for you. They might see this as a chance to get some blackmail on you. Cassandra grins. Ah, you do care about me, sissy. Call me that again, I will revoke your credit card privileges. Bella bids you good morning and heads out with Cassandra. You help Daniela and Angie clean up the apartment. When all is done, you head to bed but don't go to sleep yet. It's now 12 a.m., and a bit tipsy from game night, you pull out the business card Alcina gave you. You glance at her number before carefully inputting the numbers into your phone. Oh, this is a bad idea. What do you call her on your phone? I don't know what that means. Alcina Dimitrescu? Her full legal name. Boring, but it gets the job done. You stare at her contact on your phone and then stupidly decide to text her. You up? Hey, it's me. Thank you for giving me your number. As soon as you send the text, you bury your face in your pillows. Why have you done that? It's too late to text anyone, and if you wanted to, you shouldn't be doing this drunk. Just as you're thinking of a way to apologize through text to her for doing this, you hear a ping. Your head rockets up, and you stare at your phone in your hand. You didn't expect her to text back. It's late, and it's a school night. She seems to have to go to bed early, with a full face mask on and curlers in her hair while falling asleep on her expensive sheets while listening to her white noise machine. Yet a text message from her stares you right back in the face. You're welcome, dear. It's quite late. Make sure you get some rest before tomorrow's class. You toss your phone onto the nightstand and decide to go to get some sleep. The rest of the week passes amicably. Amiably? You attend class, try not to drool over your women in art professor, and join a few clubs to make some new friends. You end up joining the art club, and one of your newer projects includes painting a mural of the school. Brainstorming ideas for it takes some time, but eventually the club settles on an idea. What idea is that? Something meaningful and empowering, something provocative and powerful, something funny and silly. I say meaningful and empowering? You decide to do an artwork with the message of a world peace and unity. A bit corny maybe, but the message is good and that's all that counts. The project will take several days to come together. You've been nominated to be the artist in charge of the mural, and along with a few other members, you begin the laborious process of taking the sketches on the mural and making them into a real piece. A few students stop and stare as you complete the piece, cheering you and the club on. You barely pay them any mind, nodding at them quickly to acknowledge them before moving on. You want to get this done before it rains on the weekend. You're so focused, you don't notice who is approaching you from behind until her sultry voice comments on your work. That's an interesting mural you're working on. She startles you so badly you almost faceplant into the said mural and ruin all the hard work. You hastily rise to your feet, praying that your face is not blushing right now. Thanks, but it's not all my work. The club's all working on it together. I only see you here today. I figured I'd add some extra touches to it since I had time. Normally, the art club works on this together. You're a real go-getter and a perfectionist. She hums thoughtfully. You flush at her praise. I wasn't aware that you were quite the artist. I like to draw from time to time. It's more of a hobby than anything else. Do you happen to have an art portfolio? I have some art I brought with me, but it's not a portfolio. That will do. May I see it? She wants to see your art, but why? It's in my room. I'll have to go fetch them. Can you do this today? I'll be in my office waiting if so. You nod your head. Sure. Is there a reason why you'd like to see my art? We'll discuss this in my office. With that, she leaves you behind. You clean up your art supplies and dash back to the dorms. You can't let her down. You have to bring her your best art samples. You rifle through the mess under your bed and pull out some pieces you're proud of. Then you rush back to meet Alcina in her office. Mona Lisa. You knock on the door to Alcina's office before stepping inside. The room is dark, the curtains drawn. The only light source comes from an old lamp on the desk. The walls were lined with bookshelves crammed with old and new tomes and various knickknacks like animal figurines and trees made of amber. The office smells lovely thanks to the incense that plumbs up from the corner of the room. Professor Alcina sets down the paper she'd been reading and takes off her cat-shaped glasses that rest on a chain against her chest. She has glasses? This woman is giving you more and more reason to fall for her. You quickly try to compose yourself and sit down in a chair in front of her. Nervously, you clear your throat. You wanted to see me, Professor. Oh shit, why does that sound like the start to a very bad My dear, I'd like you to see your art. I have reason to believe you are a diamond in the rough. Brilliant on your own terms, but needing a guiding hand to shape you up. You try not to look at her hands at this. Try not to imagine how her hands might guide you to reach new heights of before you can fall into more degenerative thinking. You hand over the art pieces, all watercolor works. You find that it's your favorite medium and one you have best explored. Alcina puts her glasses back up and scrunches up her nose as she contemplates your art pieces from every single angle. Her hands are sweating, and you discreetly wipe them. Oh, my hands! Your hands are sweating, and you discreetly wipe them on your pants legs. Why does this feel so nerve wracking? At last, after Alcina has observed every piece meticulously, she sets them all down. Marvelous work, my dear. I'd like to extend a special invitation to you. That sends an electric bolt through your heart. What sort of special invitation? I have a very keen eye for art, and I've been gathering students who are similarly talented to one another and providing them with the resources to paint and create whatever it is their hearts desire. Their art then gets to be displayed in various high-end galleries shows across the world. Does that entice you, my dear? You gulp. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity to build up your resume and build a good reputation in the business art world. Question is it for you? You're not a serious artist. Art is just something you like to do on the side. I don't offer this opportunity to just anyone. It would be folly to turn it down. What could it hurt to go and try it out? You could always quit if anything. Does my art have to be displayed in galleries? You don't think it's good enough to receive such a chance? As it stands, no, fear not. That is what society is for, to help you flourish, to help you attain your best. You won't be alone. You are 18. There are 18 other talented individuals already there, and everyone works together to help each other succeed. And the best part is, whatever artwork you do sell, you get a commission of. The rest goes to fund the society and the supplies we present to you. Money. That was a game changer. Being in college meant you were broke more often than not. A bit of money on the side could do wonders for you. I'll join. Professor Alcina smiles. Come with me, dear. I'll show you the space. I think you'll really enjoy it. You follow her out to the office. During the walk, you bombard her with questions about the society. She deflects most of them, saying that she'll cover it later in a more detailed orientation. You cross campus to a lesser used part and stop outside an older looking building. It used to be the previous library before the newer and more modern one was built. As such, this building stands abandoned. Chains on the front door. It was supposed to be demolished some time ago, but never has been. Alcina takes you to a side door that leads into the basement, fishing out a key from her pocket and opening it up. Inside, the hallway is lit with old-fashioned torches. Walking in feels like entering a crypt. And when Alcina closes the door behind you, removing the light of the outside world, it feels even more so like that. You can hear faint classical music playing through the shadows. Alcina leads the way and you follow. The closer you get, the louder the music becomes. You climb a few stairs and eventually you are spat out into a lobby of sorts. It must have once been the main area of the library because the ceiling goes up very high. The lobby was gutted and replaced by a comfortable lounge area in one part of the room. All brown leather sofas with blankets and coffee tables. There's a coffee machine on a table that chugs along, scenting the air with freshly brewed coffee. The other half of the room has workstations set up, mostly aisles with comfortable stools in front of them. There are a few students now, painting leisurely on canvases and not talking to one another as classical music comes in from the jukebox machine by the wall. You have to admit, this kind of seems cool. You keep the society private. I will have to swear you to secrecy. Why? If I mentioned it, just anyone would clamor to join. Too many apples spoil the pie. This area is mostly for painting. The floor downstairs has more hands-on art projects such as welding, pottery, and sculpting. Take a moment to walk around and explore the building. I have to check something. She strides off, leaving you behind with the secret world within a world. You feel honored to be invited in such a thing. What should you do? Speak with one of the artists at the aisle, make a cup of coffee, check out the lower level. Sure, let's talk to the people. Let's get a feel for the place. Oh, you have wings for ears. You go up to the nearest artist, one that is staring at a drawing of Aspen on their canvas. You recognize this artist from your women in arts class. Their name is Finch. Hi, I'm new here. Your enthusiasm falls off when you notice Finch is staring blankly at the canvas. Women pretty. Alright then, you'll move on. What should you do? Check out the lower level? You head down the stairs to see the rest of the secret society and what it has to offer. There's a small kitchen area, fully stocked with healthy snacks and drinks. And then there are 3 separate rooms, all dedicated to different art forms. Sculpting, metalwork, and pottery. Your hands itch to try new things. What should you do? Make a cup of coffee? You help yourself to some freshly brewed coffee, taking a hearty sip. Ah, this is the good coffee, not like the kind they sell at the cafe. Excuse me, who are you? A nasally pitched voice asked. You turn around to see a girl standing behind you. I'm new here. Professor Alcina was showing me around. You haven't earned that coffee yet. Huh? What crack is this bitch smoking? Oh my god. Who are you to decide that? I'm Ioana, the star artist of Alcina's Umbrella Society. I'm her top earning artist, therefore she looks to me to lead the group when she's away. Oh, this Iona girl has a complex. Figures there would be one sprinkled in the bunch. Congratulations on an accomplishment no one asked you about. Iona scoffs. You're starting off on the wrong foot, newbie. I'm watching you. Slip up and you're out of this group. She makes a slashing motion against her neck before walking away. What's her damage? Finished, you wait for Alcina to come back. When she does, you have some questions for her. You said this would also be a chance for my art to improve. How? Hours of uninterrupted practice time. Access to other artists who can mentor you, whatever supplies you need. Additionally, I have world-renowned artists leading workshops here every few weeks or so. Therefore, you can learn from the best. Whoa, this sounds so serious. It is. Are you ready to commit? One last question. You said we could earn money. Yes, though I'm afraid that won't happen for a while. You'll need to improve first, and then I deem your art sellable, I'll send it to my contact at the galleries. Not everything you make will be sent off. I only picked the cream of the crop. The galleries that send your art to are nothing to sneeze at. Art goes for thousands, if not millions of dollars there. Your eyes bulge at this. That much money. You'll be eating well for months. Your commission rate depends. Sculptures and pottery are harder to sell, so the commission is lower. Art is easier. Who doesn't love a nice painting on the wall? The rate is higher, 10%. That doesn't sound all that much. I can see the disappointment in your gaze. Temper it. I assure you, it's not because I have much of a choice. Supplies are costly, and I do have to give money to my contacts for putting up the artwork in the galleries. It's all a very expensive business. That said, what will your verdict be? You nod your head yes. Really, what is there to think about? Either way this goes, it seems like a huge benefit to you, and you'll get to spend more time with her. You know your promise Daniela you wouldn't, but Alcina is magnetic. There's a charm to her that oozes that you need access to, or else you'll die of thirst. I'm in. Excellent. I'll see you here bright and early on Sunday morning. Sunday morning? That's kind of not a good day or time. I suggest you change the thinking, otherwise this arrangement might not work out. Your journey to becoming a professional artist begins now. Woman with a fan. You get settled into the secret society quite nicely. All the artists are helpful and friendly when they're not busy improving their craft, and they offer you good tips. Already, your art has improved by miles, and it's only been 3 weeks of consistent work. The only person who seems to have an issue with you is Ioana. She'll slip in snide comments wherever you're alone with her, and you do your part to ignore her. She's just jealous of you for whatever reason. Everyone else likes you. You don't care that one person doesn't. Professor Alcina visits the society on weekends, oftentimes with guest presenters who show you all new art techniques. She herself uses the time to create sculptures down on the lower floor. Sometimes she'll stop by and admire her work. The way that she is into her craft makes it seem like the outside world ceases to exist. Her hands are magic, and the marble is clay in her hands. She even made see-through fabric possible in her sculptures. Who knew that was possible? When she's sculpting, it's the only time you see her dressed down. Surely she looks amazing in anything. You love being in this secret society, if only because it seems to be far removed from the rest of campus life. You feel more purposeful here, and it's relaxing. In a secret building, homework and parties don't matter, only the paintbrush in your hand does. One day, you venture down to the sculpture room where Alcina has stored her latest block of marble. You wonder what she's planning to make next. You pull the sheets down on a more recently completed work and marvel at the fluid flow of the subject's limbs and expressions. It's a sculpture of a woman in her mid-50s, singing. Did you get lost? You jolt at her words, stumbling over an apology. Sorry, I didn't mean to snoop, I just wanted to admire the work you've done. She does not look mad, but a bit amused. The sculpture is of a woman who used to be my mentor. She taught me almost everything I know today. Was she a famous artist? A singer, actually. I was lucky enough to meet many talented people who helped raise me up into the woman I am today. What did she sing? Jazz. Does that mean you also sing jazz? Professor Alcina's eye grew distant. I did, for a few years. I had my band and we traveled the road. The world loved us. Why did you stop? Why did you become a professor? I had a grander purpose in life than singing and releasing albums. A grander purpose? To be a teacher or an artist. President Miranda needed me here, helping her with this university. She found me while I was on the road and showed me the errors of my way. We've known each other for quite some time. You had no idea the two of them have been friends for so long. Professor Alcina clears her throat and changes the topic. I have many sculptures. I have three at home that I've made of my daughters. You have to show me them sometime. She gives a teasing smile. Perhaps when you're not drunk or hungover. You flush. Oh, speaking of drunk and hungover. Midterms are approaching shortly, and with that, you have to take a bit of a break with your art practice. You instead devote more time to studying up for your exams. Naturally, your roommates decide the best way to study is in a bar. You don't know how you've let them rope you into this yet again. One drink? You ask Riley as you watch Angie chug back two giant mugs of beer at once. She ignores you, and so does Daniela as she cheers Angie on. The entire bar is watching Angie drink and cheering for her too. Why do I always allow myself to be fooled by the one drink line? You instead complain to yourself. Angie slams both mugs down, and the bar erupts into cheers. They all congratulate her, and there are a few offers to buy her more. It seems they already know her. How often is Angie here for her to be known by all the bar-goers? Daniela smiles at you as Angie leaves to go do shots. Drink up, roomie, don't be so gloomy. I don't really like beer. I'll order you something from the bar. What do you want? Uh, Water? uh, Probably vodka cranberry? Gin and tonic? Let's stay sober. Daniela scowls. Don't be such a buzzkill. I'll get you my favorite concoction. It's pink and sweet. Daniela returns 5 minutes later with a new drink. You take it and sip on it, much better than the beer. You and her spend time trying to talk to each other over how loud the bar is. Your head begins to buzz from the drink. What's the option of giving me, not the drink option if I'm going to end up drinking anyway? You forgot just how strong mixed drinks can be. The flavor of alcohol can get covered up by the juices, but having had one drink makes you crave another. You shake your empty glass at Daniela. Daniela goes to get you another one, and then when you finish the second one, she goes to get you a third. You really should not be drinking this much. Weren't you just complaining about how it was only supposed to be one drink? But drunk you is a mean bitch and won't stop. More. Daniela does you one better, or worse, and brings a tray of shots over. You black out after the third one. Oh my god. Oh my god! You wake up on silk sheets with a throbbing headache. This scene is all too familiar to you, because you've done this once before, and apparently now you've done it a second time. I can't believe I've done this. You bury your head in your hands. Somehow, drunk you came back to Alcina's manor. You really hope this won't be a habit of yours. Mortified, you walk down the stairs to the kitchen where the scent of freshly brewed coffee is coming from. Alcina's at the table, newspaper in hand. When she hears you come in, she raises a brow. When I said you should come see the sculptures I've made of my daughters, I didn't mean so soon. You flush red. Did you pick me up from the bar again? She laughs. You came to my manor door, banging on it and hollering like the devil was chasing after you at 3 a.m. in the morning. Shoot me. Shoot me. I did? You had walked all the way from the bar to her house, drunk and in the cold. Someone had a good time last night. I am so sorry. You squeak it out. You cannot help doing this. I'd rather you be safe. A warm glow fills your chest at that. Help yourself to some breakfast, and could you check in on Daniela for me? Make sure she's back safely from the bar too? You nod your head yes and help yourself to some food. You stuff your face while she reads the newspaper. When you finish, you thank her and shyly ask if she could show you the sculptures that she made. If you are already here, might as well indulge you. She leads the way to the third floor. As you pass the staircase, you notice that she has a portrait of Miranda up on the wall. Why does she have that? Did she paint it for her friend? Miranda is not wearing normal clothing in the artwork. She seems to be wearing some sort of priestess-like robes. Do you ask her about it? Oh, I'm gonna ask. Did you make that portrait of the school president? Yes, she asked me to. Why the choice of that clothing? Professor Alcina looks away from your eyes as she replies. Artistic license. Professor Alcina takes you to the spots in the mansion where the sculptures are. When she had said sculptures, you had thought that they would be just the body, but these are entire scenes captured in stone. There's one of Bella standing with a proud jut of her chin, wearing armor, defeating soldiers lying at her feet while she holds a bloodied sword. There's one of Cassandra, lounging on a couch, lazily drinking from a wine glass as people grip the couch behind her, fawning over her. Daniela's sculpture is reaching for the sky as hands erupt from the ground trying to pull her down. Whoa, because she didn't know how else to phrase her utter awe and shock at the masterpieces. They all symbolize something. Bella's a warrior, smiting anything gets in her way of success, while Cassandra has grown content and well fed by her success. Daniela is dragged down by hands that wish to impede her from finding her true purpose. Have you shown this to them? They've seen them. Daniela wasn't happy with hers, but I only create what I see in real life. Ouch, poor Daniela. So much pressure on her shoulders. Should you intervene in the relationship? You feel you might as well. I think you should talk to Daniela, properly. If you have such high expectations of her, she might grow to resent her relationship with you. Professor Alcina looks aghast at the idea. I don't want her to hate me. She sighs. I'll invite her over for dinner today and talk with her. Maybe we can come to a better spot in our relationship. Perhaps I have been tough on her. No, I know I've been tough on her. But a mother just wants what's best for their child. You hope this will work out for them both. Just don't mention me. Why not? She may have asked me to stay away from you. You sheepishly admit, rubbing the back of your head. Did she say why? Do you tell her why? Yes, I'm going to tell her the truth. She doesn't want you seducing me. Alcina looks incised. I do not go around with the intention of seducing others. I am not responsible for their feelings. Would you like to see my other sculptures? There's more. These portray raw and uglier human emotion. I don't tend to put them on display because they might disturb some who see them. Now you're definitely intrigued. She takes you to a room that she has to open with a key. She flicks the lights on and you see it's crammed with at least a dozen statues. You walk among them, taking in their expressions, angry, frightened, murderous. They're all of young women that look like they're college-aged. I don't find these creepy. I think it's amazing how much emotion you can imbue in them. Thank you, my darling. She locks the room up after you're done examining the statues and then offers you some coffee and small lunch snacks. It's already late in the day and you have to go back and study. I will come with you to campus. I have to go gather Daniela. The entire ride back, you try hard not to think about how this small space is in the car. The two of you are so close together. You can smell her heady perfume and it's making you feel a bit lightheaded. Her knees almost touches yours and you try to look out the window so you won't ogle her. She drops you off at your dorm and then pulls out her phone to call Daniela. When you enter your dorm room, you see half-dressed Daniela scrambling to get ready and out the door. She's got her phone pressed to her ear and barely pays you any mind as she zips on a hoodie over her night crop top and slips to a mismatched pair of shoes. You really hope the conversation between her and her mom will go well. Andrew greets you as you walk in. Breakfast smoothie? She offers you something she's concocted. You take it tentatively from her and sniff it. It smells good. You take a sip and immediately spit it back out. Why does this have vodka in it? Angie whoops loudly, snatching the smoothie from you. Because the party never stops, baby. Oh my god. She goes to her room and slams the door shut. Teeth rattling, bass music begins to blast. Looks like you'll be studying in the library. Blue Marlin. Marilyn. Marlin? You head over to the library to study. Predictably, the library is packed. Everyone's cramming last minute for midterms. You search for a quiet spot that no one has claimed yet and find an unoccupied room. Oh, you just settle down when the door slams open as if there's a raid occurring and Bella is standing on the other end. What are you doing here? Studying? Not in my room, you don't. There's no name on the door. Out, now. Okay, bye. You gulp and pack your things up quickly before running out. Great, now you have nowhere to study. Maybe you can try an empty classroom? You head into the building housing the arts and English department. On the weekends, it's empty. You try the handles of the doors, hoping to find an unlocked room. As you're walking by, you notice someone in the halls. It's Miranda, and she's standing by Alcina's office door, looking annoyed. She's on the phone with someone, talking loudly because she thinks she's alone. For some reason, you duck behind a corner and listen. Why are you not in your office? I'm aware it's the weekend and office hours are not a requirement on the weekends, but we have an agreement. I don't care that you're out with your daughter. Your obligations to me and this university are much more important. Miranda's tone is snappish and impatient. Where are the funds? We need them for the next gathering. I don't care if you think we should be spending them otherwise. You don't get paid to think. You follow my orders. Is that clear? Asina must have given a satisfactory answer because Miranda hums in agreement. Yes, and when you come back, we need to finalize. Miranda's voice fades out as she walks away, heels clacking on the tiled floor. What could they have been talking about? It sounded like business talk, but was it really? Something in the back of your brain tells you there's more to this than you heard. You spend some time looking for an empty room, but they are all locked. You decide to head back to your dorm room. Maybe Angie has drunk herself to sleep and you can study there. Back in the dorm room. Oh no. You find Daniela is there, sitting on the couch with Angie, who is rubbing comforting circles onto her back. Daniela is sobbing. Oh no. Horrible scenarios run through your mind. Guilt eats you up. Did the talk with Alcina go bad? If it did, it's clearly your fault. Do you approach her? Ask her what's wrong. Daniela, what happened? Mom says she'll let me follow my passions. She said I don't have to do the arts anymore. That I can choose whatever major I want. I'm gonna be an exercise science major. It's happy tears. The talk went well. You're so happy for Daniela, Alcina. You sit down with Daniela's other side of the couch and hug her to you. She melts into a hug, sniffling. Angie hugs Daniela from the back, and the three of you stay like this, clinging to each other. Midterms week arrives, and with it, 5 different exams you have to take. Alcina's is first. When you take a seat in the lecture hall, a cold sweat breaks out on your skin. You know her tests are notoriously hard. Have you studied enough to pass them? You flip open the page and immediately are bombarded with questions. Can your love of art history save your grades today? Answer quickly. You only have 30 seconds for each question. Oh my god! No, wait. I don't actually know anything about art history. Huh? One question. An innovation that Manette employed in painting what? Who is Manette? Huh? Which character from Hamlet is depicted drowning in a... Ophelia? Which life-size sculpture of a half-naked woman is believed to be created by... Venus? You had your exam. I got a wrong answer. You head back to the dorms and decompress by listening to some music before studying for your upcoming exams. At the end of the exam week, Alcina puts out the scores for the exam. She's a first fast grader. You won't be getting your grades back from the exams until much later. You click open an email she has sent you. Your face pales as you read, please see me in my office. Oh no. Oh, that cannot be good. You drag yourself to the office and knock on the door. She tells you to enter and you take your seat in front of her. Head lowered like a scolded animal. Her face is neutral, and it's hard to tell what she's thinking. She takes out your exam paper where a big B plus is right on the front page. Oh, really? You glow with the praise and with knowing you've got the highest score. Thank you. Professor Alcina chuckles warmly. Don't thank me. You're the one who studied and did a good job. Moving on. I did want to talk to you about something important. I took your advice and spoke with Daniela. It's a very emotional conversation, but I think we are both in a better place with understanding each other. We agreed that for her sake, it would be better if she moved ahead and worked on the major that better interested her, exercise science. Professor Alcina says the major with distaste. I don't understand why she would want to spend time with athletes learning to treat maladies in the human body instead of the human soul, but she's good at it, I'll give her that. Alcina begrudgingly admits. I still want Daniela to be involved in the arts. It's family tradition. If she could even do one thing. Maybe now that she doesn't feel the pressure to learn the arts, she might show the interest in them. You said she played guitar somewhat. Buy her lessons so she could continue learning while also allowing her to pick hobbies she enjoys. Professor Alcina looks at you, and there's a tender appreciation in her eyes. You speak so wisely. Thank you for offering me genuine solutions. Here, her face grows a bit darker. I've raised this issue with Miranda many times because I truly care for my daughters and I just want what's best for them, but she only dismisses my concerns. You're the only person I have talked to that understands how important family is to me. I would do anything for them, even kill. The last part is whispered out for her vehemently. Well, this got intense fast. How do you react? Finger gun and wink. Leave. Reach out to her. Boldly, for you might get in trouble for this, you reach out a hand and place it over her own, which rests on top of the desk. She looks down at your touch but says nothing. If you ever want to talk about anything, remember I'm here. I'll keep that in mind. She rumbles, before you pull your hand away. You leave her office and head out to class, wondering when will the next time be that you get to see her. Maybe in a secret society. You can paint her something nice and gift it to her. Paint her an apple. Homework. Miss Dimitrescu, Part 1. Oh god. You're lazing about in your dorm room, surfing through memes on your bed when a text message pops up on your phone. As soon as you see this from Alcina, you bolt upright in bed and open up with a racing heart. Are you free tomorrow evening at 7 p.m.? Are you free? For her, does she even have to ask? I'm free. Excellent. Then you are cordially invited to my mansion at 7 p.m. for dinner. Please dress accordingly. My driver will pick you up at 6:45 on the dot. Your heart is racing in your chest. She's inviting you to dinner at her place. Oh shit, do you even have anything nice to wear? You'll have to go shopping and find something nice. What's wrong? Me? Yeah, your face looks funny. Angie comments with a wide grin. She looks over at you from her desk where she had been playing with her pen and attempting to do her homework, but doodling flowers all over it. Danielle is watching TV on the couch, but you probably shouldn't say the truth. Angie doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut. I'm supposed to go to some fancy meeting tomorrow for high-achieving students, and I have nothing to wear. You can borrow something from me, or from Daniela. If not, my Aunt Donna has some clothes she can lend you. You're about her size, and black would look good on you. Whose clothing do you take? Donna? Let me try Donna's stuff. I'm sure it'll look good in all black. Outfit selected for tomorrow, you can rest a bit more easy. Still, this is a big deal. You know it's not a date, but you can't help but feel that it is a date. Should you ask your roommate for advice? Which one of your roommates do you ask for advice? Angie. Angie, quick question. If someone asks you out for dinner, then does that mean it's a date? Angie smiles cheekily at you. So that fancy meeting is really a date, huh? No, but let's say it was. Don't ask me, I don't date. Well, that has been no help. Daniela, quick question. If someone asks me out to dinner, then does that mean it's a date? She scratches her cheek. Could be, depending on their intentions. You should probably ask them to make it clear. Yeah, you cannot ask Alcina. You don't want to make it awkward between you and the professor. But I'm not great at dating. All the people I've had crushes on have preferred my mother. So, yeah, not a lot of good experiences in that department. You have no right to comment on this considering your own feelings for Alcina. My sister Cassandra might have some good advice. She's always going on dates. Daniela calls her sister on her phone and puts it on speakerphone. What's up, Daniela? I'm about to go to practice. My friend needs some help with going on a date. You called me for dating advice? Despite being annoyed about it, she begins to launch into a spiel about what to wear, what gifts to bring to a date, and what to order for food, what to talk about, what flirtations to make, and how to end the date. Kiss them, thank them for the date, and invite them over to your place, and then you need to Daniela presses the end call button before Cassandra can finish her last advice. Did that help? A bit. Cassandra gave you the good idea to bring flowers to a date, but where would you get flowers? And she pipes up brightly. My aunt runs a flower shop. It probably closed at this time, but she'll open it for me. She's really good at bouquets. You thank Daniela for her help and then follow Angie to her car. A quick 10-minute ride finds you outside a quaint-looking flower shop that is indeed closed. Angie shoots off and texts her aunt, and the door jingles open a few minutes later. Donna, Donna, we have a case of emergency bouquet. Donna is a serious-looking woman with black hair and a bun. She nods her head solemnly and lets you two in. Immediately, she sets to work, trying on her apron. What do you need? What do you suggest? It depends on what you want. Different flowers mean different things. What are you trying to convey? What flowers should you get? Oh. I don't know. Red roses, yellow roses, violet roses. Yellow roses are friendship. I don't know what violet roses are. I don't know, red roses? Red roses symbolize love. You're certainly trying to make a bold statement, aren't you? You thank Angie and Donna for their help and head back to the dorms, eagerly and nervously anticipating the dinner with Alcina. Tomorrow arrives, and at 6:30 you are dressed and ready, even going through the effort of styling your hair till not a single strand is out of place. You wait by your window, looking out to see if their limo is here. Your hands are sweating, and your stomach is clenched. Will you ever be able to eat anything? Right on the dot, the Blacktown car arrives, and you scoop up the flowers and run out the door. You get inside the car and try to calm your nerves by looking out the car window and humming a song to yourself under your breath. Asina's mansion seems bigger and more intimidating today. That's because of your anxiety. You take a deep breath and hold out your back. Hold out your back? It's just dinner between two friends. She might not have meant it as a date. She can't even mean it as a date, considering she's your teaching professor. Now, if she wanted to ask you on a date after the semester was over, that would be a different story. You ring the door, and the butler opens it up. He leads you to the grand dining room. Soft jazz music is playing in the background, and Alcina sits at the head of the table, looking beautiful as usual. She rises up to greet you. I take it the ride here was smooth? Yes, and I brought you flowers. Alcina arches a brow. Red roses. The implication of these flowers does not go over her head. You hasten to answer her. I figured I can't go wrong with the classic red roses. You lie. You had wanted the flowers to be a declaration of your feelings for her. Perhaps you had misjudged. Greatly. You squirm as she looks at you. Unmerciful, she responds. I do love red. She takes the flowers, smells them, and then has her butler put them in a vase of water. You didn't have to bring anything, my dear. Your presence is gift enough. You blush at her words. Would it be considered too hopeful to read more into them? She indicates for the two of you to sit down. The butler comes out with two menus and hands them both to you. There are a few entrees and desserts to choose from. What will you pick for dinner? Clam chowder? Steak and onions. Steak and onions? And for dessert, strawberry cheesecake? You hope it'll come in a big slice. The butler collects the menus as soon as you've made your selections and brings out your dishes. The smell of the food awakens your hunger and you begin to eat. You aren't sure what you can talk about with Alcina, but she takes the lead. She is an engaging conversationalist and you find conversation moving smoothly. You laugh a few times and regale her with the time that you decided to visit the world after you graduated high school. This is why you seem so mature. You've seen the world and learned from it rather than sit behind a computer screen. Ma'am, which country did you enjoy visiting the most? Did you like it? Did you like it best anywhere? Romania, there are too many to choose from. I have no favorites. Romania has to be my top choice. Why? Is it because you're studying here right now? You want to say because you're here, but you don't. Yes. Dinner begins to wind down, and the butler brings out a bottle of expensive red wine. This vintage has been aged 5 years. It's one that I've bottled myself. Oh, you make your own wine. Over the summer, when I have more time, yes. How do you think I got this mansion, darling? I thought it was from your music career, or from your sculptures, or from the theaters, or from any of the other talents you have. Professor Alcina chuckles, lifting the glass to her lips. Wine makes the world go round, especially because my wine uses a special ingredient to make it stand out from the others. Try it. You take a gulp of the wine and your eyes go wide. It's rich and heady and almost seems spiced without having the flavor profile of spice. It feels nostalgic in a way you can't explain. This is good. The butler comes into the room, bowing his head apologetically. Mr. Dimitrescu, you have a guest at the door. She scowls. Send them away. I do not want to be disturbed now. The butler looks regretful to announce this. It's Carl. Oh, her brother. No need to whine about it. Alcina scowls. Naturally, he would choose the one evening have something important to show up. Send him in, that way I can get rid of him quickly. She rises up and you follow after her, going to the main entrance hall. Elsie, how you doing? He holds his hand out as if to give a hug, but she crosses her arms over her chest and looks down at him with barely concealed annoyance. This is my brother. Alcina says with irritation. You look Carl over. He's nicely built and has gray hair and a gray beard. He smells of motor oil and has grease stains on his clothes. He's also very short. Alcina has all the height genes. What do you want? I came in to check on you. What? I can't check on you. It's been ages. You saw me last month. Exactly. Ages ago. Spit out your true reason for being here. I have business to attend to. He arches a brow and looks at you. Business? Yep, just business. Wine business. He laughs. Did Alcina ever tell you about the time my beer destroyed her wine at a wine competition? Carl. Carl continues on, ignoring the warning in her voice. She started up all cocky and shit, thinking her wine would win the yearly competition yet again. I decided it'd be funny to put her in her place and join the competition with my beer, and I won. He laughs again. My day job isn't even to make alcohol. I just fix cars. Carl! She looks increasingly irritated. You wouldn't be surprised if she lifts him up and throws him out the door. Carl wipes away a tear from the corner of his eye. Good memories, but yeah, I came in to check on something. He looks at you. Mind giving us some privacy? You wander off as the two of them enter a study to talk about who knows what. What should you do? Oh. Wait? Asina enters the dining room and is rubbing her temples. That man's perpetual stench of motor oil gives me a headache. I need some wine. She pours herself a generous glass full of wine and does the same for your cup. She drinks down the wine in one go and then refills her wine glass. I apologize. We were having such a good evening and he had to interrupt. We can still have fun, unless you want me to leave? I would like to enjoy your company a bit longer. We should retire to the lounge area. The seats are more comfortable for drinking wine and talking. The two of you head over to the lounge area. It is every inch as opulent as the rest of the mansion. There, the two of you talk and drink some more until a second and then third bottle of wine is brought out. The two of you are having so much fun that it's easy to lose track of time and how much has been drunk. You begin to feel dizzy when you stand up, needing the bathroom. Alcina herself is flushed in the cheeks. It seems she's not impervious to the effect of her wine either. Where's your restroom? Down the hall, door to the left. She has many doors to the left, you realize, once you try to stumble to a restroom. You eventually try every door until one opens and the bathroom is there. Finished, you wash your hands and start on your way back to Alcina. You startle when you notice the butler is standing there. Be careful. What is he warning you of? What? You're exactly her type. He leaves at that and you shrug. You're way too drunk to figure out what any of this means right now. You just want to go back to Alcina so you can bask in her presence some more. Oh, I'm getting the bad end. You get there and see Alcina seems to have finished the rest of the third bottle while you were in the restroom and now working her way on the fourth. Holy shit. Come there, the night is long. We have much to discuss. Smiling at her, you eagerly take the seat in front of her and pluck the filled wine glass from her fingers. A lot more to discuss indeed. Talks turn into art and different techniques. You're curious as to how she makes her sculptures look so lifelike. Oh no, I'm getting the bad ending. I wouldn't mind showing you how it's done, but you would need to model for me. Your eyes grow wide at this. She'd make a statue of you. Professor Alcina ponders you before her lips spread in a slow smile. Model for me, naked. Oh god! A model student. Your jaw drops open. Modeling for Alcina, naked. She wants you to model but naked, and what the heck? Your brain is short-circuiting right now. You take a deep breath, trying to steady yourself. Being drunk doesn't help because it only makes you excited about the prospect of modeling nude for her. It would just be for a little while. I would need to get the general shape of you. Yes. You'll do it. Yes. You nod your head so hard you almost tip over. She rises from her chair and leads you to a room down in the basement. This seems to be her personal room, one she uses to complete her sculptures. You can see half-finished pieces lining the walls. There's a couch in the middle and a giant block of marble in front of it. I've been having artist block for a while now. Nothing has inspired me. You have. And how exactly have I done that? Professor Alcina smirks at you. That, my dear, would be something I should not answer. What does that mean? Professor Alcina begins to get to work, setting up the centerpieces. I'll only be sculpting you and the surface you're lying on, but setting up the scene helps me envision the art, helps me envision the mood and feel of it. She explains when she sees you look. You're honestly just happy to be here, and the alcohol makes you give her a dopey smile. When she's all set up, she stands before you. Those clothes have to go. Your fingers come up to fumble with the buttons of her shirt, but she has no patience and rips the collar of her shirt and yanks it open. Buttons go flying everywhere. This isn't your outfit. I'll reimburse you for the clothing. She glances you over. Go, sit on the couch. Her voice is commanding, and it makes shivers roll down your back. You dutifully go and sit on the couch, and she positions your body into the position she wants. Her hands are warm on you, and you try hard not to blush on how gently she touches you. Your skin burns everywhere she touches, and the way her eyes rake over you, taking in every inch of your body, has your insides burning warm. If you lean into her touch a bit, craving more of it, who can fault you? Half-dressed. I think half-dressed will be fine. You can't tell if she's talking to you or thinking out loud, probably the second one. Either way, there's an adorable look of concentration on her face. Yes. She declares to herself as she takes a step back and nods in approval. Shirt open lends to a more romantic air about the piece. This will be good. She walks over to the stone and begins to chisel at it. Even while dressed so nicely, she seems to not mind, focusing on her own world right now. You watch her as she works, amazed by her intense focus and the skill she holds. Even while tipsy, you can still exert so much control over her hand motions and the set of the chisel on the stone. You know how long you lie on the couch, leg bent at the knee while the other is extended, a head propped on up on your arm. Eventually, you begin to grow more tired and fall asleep in that position. You awaken with a shudder of cold rips through you. You yawn and see that Alcina has whittled the stone down to a rough outline of your shape. What time is it? Professor Alcina, who had been doing some exercises to rest her hands, looks at her watch. It's 3 in the morning. She seems aghast at this. My sweetling, I did not mean to keep you this late. We must get you back home. She rises from her seat and you rise from the couch, wincing in pain. Your body is stiff from staying in the position for so long. You rub your arms and legs to get circulation flowing again, and then try to close up the shirt before remembering it cannot be closed. Whoops, how are you going to explain this? I will call my driver for you. She leads you to the door, and you stifle another yawn. Despite the nap, you're tired. When the two of you get to the door, Alcina gives you a soft smile. I enjoy our evening together. We should do this another time. You agree with her, but before you can spend any more time with her, the driver is already there. She hands you some money to replace the shirt, and then she leans in and presses a kiss to your cheek. Have a good night, dear. I know I will. She murmurs lowly next to your ear, making the hairs on your back of your neck stand up. You instantly flush red and turn around hastily so she won't see your reaction. You get back to the dorm and flop onto your bed. You keep replaying the entire night in your head until it finally lulls you to sleep. You wake up the next morning, still in your clothes from last evening. Angie is up and she notices. Whoa, what happened to the shirt? Oh boy, Donna's gonna be so sad the clothes got ruined. You hold out a wad of cash Alcina gave you. Will this cover repairs? She can seal stuff herself, but I will take this, thanks. Angie yoinks the money and shoves it in the front of her shirt. Yeah, you're not going to try and get that back. How did things go? You're not sure how to answer this. You had fun, yes, and you had great conversations with Alcina, but did Alcina like the time spent together? She had seemed happy, but was she? And now you're overthinking everything. You need to stop. I had a good time. The person I was with was very kind and charming, and we had a good evening. Angie arches her brow, looking you up and down. Clearly. Daniela shuffles in, rubbing the sleep from her eyes. Who did you go out with? Yeah, no, you're not answering that question. Gotta go, bye! As you hastily race out of the dorm room before you can get asked any more questions. Self-portrait with a thorn necklace and hummingbird. Deciding what art to make for Alcina will be tricky, but you want to make something she would enjoy. What should you make? Watercolor painting of her and her daughters, pencil study of her. Her and her daughters. You make your decision and set to work. For 2 weeks straight, you dedicate time after classes to finish your work. You know you aren't obligated to make art for her, but you want to. You want to give her something she will like. When you finish, you stride up to her office during office hours and knock on the door. I just noticed a Squidward painting in the background. Your hands are sweating and you're nervous. What if she doesn't like it? What if she hates it? Come in. Also her best mom mug, look at that. You enter the room, and is it your imagination, or does she brighten a bit when she sees you? Did you have a question about the essay? You shake your head, no, and bring up the art pieces from where you have carefully stored it in your bag. I wanted to make something for you, as a thanks for letting me into the society. She takes the piece, and her eyes soften as she looks it over. Thank you, darling, this is wonderful. This art piece shows me you're ready to finally start making art for the galleries. Really? You burst out of your throat in an excited breath. Professor Alcia nods her head. Alcina. I want you to start putting together a portfolio for me. At the end of the month, I'll pick through the pieces and see what we can use. You're finally going to get paid for your hard work and have your art be displayed. This is exciting. That evening, you scurry back to the Secret Society's building, set up your easel, and with fervor, start on your latest project. Because you have headphones in, you don't hear the footsteps creeping up behind you until a shadow falls over your art. You take your headphones off and with a frown notice Joanna What are you doing here? I'm part of the society and have been for a while now. You respond dryly and want to turn back to your art, but she keeps talking. You probably won't be. Your art hasn't improved enough to be sold. Asino's not going to keep you on. Smugly, you retort. Actually, she just confirmed that I should be starting sales with her soon. Iona's eyes bug out. She sputters. What? How are you already doing sales with her? It took me 6 months to be able to do that. You take immense satisfaction from this fact. Looks like you might be the one Alcina might not keep on. Ioana, Ioana stomps her foot and leaves. You're now free to work on your art in peace. The next morning, when you get to class, you find a neatly wrapped present waiting for you on the desk. Several students around you look curiously as you glance around to see who could have left it. It must have been Alcina. Who else had such neat handwriting? The note says to open the gift after class, so you put it in your book bag. You sit, impatience and curiosity burning through you. What is this gift? You run through possible objects, but can't settle on one. You try to focus on class, but you find that you can't either. Every time your eyes meet hers, it almost seems like she's giving you secretive smirks. You open the gift back up in your dorm room and find that it's a necklace, made of gold, with a delicate chain, a small rose at the end, and with mimicking thorns on it. It's beautiful and probably expensive. A small note card on the inside says, "Think this as a small thank you for the art." She didn't have to get this for you. You put the necklace on. It looks nice around your neck. It also makes you feel special. How many students can say Alcina has brought them a gift? You want to brag about this, but because she's your professor, it would be best not to say anything about this at all. Daniela, especially, cannot know about this. It will not end well. You'll have to hide the necklace under your shirt. For the time being, you can't help but revel in the feeling wearing Alcina's necklace brings you. You feel like you're hers. The semester is drawing to a close sooner than expected. Finals are coming up and you study for them furiously. You want to get good grades in Alcina's class. You stay up until morning hours and resist getting dragged out by Angie to go bar hopping. It's only a, it is only when final week finishes that you find time to relax and unwind. You do this by heading over to the secret society and continuing working on that art portfolio. Alcina wants it by the end of the month and you do not want to disappoint her. You already have a few pieces in the folder. Unexpectedly, she's here today. She turns when she sees you enter and flashes you a smile. Your heart leaps in your chest. It's 10 p.m. at night. What are you doing here? Checking on everyone's progress with their work. This is perfect. I wanted to show you the pieces I've worked on. Give me a few moments to finish with Finch here. Alcina turns to continue talking with Finch about what pieces they'll be putting up for the gallery. To give them some privacy, head over to the coffee table and pour yourself a hot cup of coffee. Naturally, Iona finds you there. It seems she always appears whenever you try to enjoy yourself. Does this girl have a built-in vibe killer? What's her problem? What do you want? Ignore her. Stick out your tongue at her. Ignore her. Look at me when I address you. What a bitch. You look at her. Anyway, I just want to tell you I hope you have a good day. Why did that feel disingenuous? And that you shouldn't worry about being Alcina's top provider anytime soon. She sachets away. She really thinks she ate that whole combo, didn't she? Alcina comes over 5 minutes later, having concluded her conversation with Finch. I'm ready to see your art. You take her to the lockers where artists are allowed to store their work. You find that the door to yours is unlocked. Strange. Hadn't you locked it? You open the locker and milk begins to drip out of it. Inside of the locker is soaked. The art you had wanted to show Alcina is ruined. Purposefully. Your heart drops to your feet and you feel your face crumple. You have been so proud of this work too. You had spent hours perfecting it and it's all gone. You swallow thickly and try to hide the shakiness in your voice. I guess someone mistook the locker for a trash can. You give a weak chuckle. Sorry to waste your time. Professor Alcina looks furious. You have nothing to apologize for, dear. It's clear fellow artists sabotaged this. I do not tolerate this sort of behavior. Who was it? Do you tell her? Tell her? I believe it was Ioana. You believe or you know? It's highly likely. She hasn't been the most welcoming when I first arrived here, and she's only been constantly harassing me ever since. Professor Alcina looks even more furious at this. The veins in her neck is bulging. She tries to keep her voice even towards you. She looks hot while pissed off. Why didn't you say anything? I didn't want to bother you. This is supposed to be a safe space, a space where you can be supported, not torn down. I'm appalled that this sort of behavior occurred. My sweetling, can you ever forgive me for allowing such a thing to happen to you? It's not your fault. It is. I should have noticed this sooner. I should have been I should have been someone who you could trust to come to solve this right away. I do trust you. You saved me from 2 hangovers, remember? You tried to inject humor into the situation, but Alcina's temper cannot be swayed. I will handle this, do not fret. She swiftly turns on her heel and leaves. Alcina's justice is swift and merciless. Less than 30 minutes after you told Alcina about what had happened, spending that time cleaning out your locker and silently mourning the lost artwork, Ioana comes running to find you. I hate you, she screams out, tears streaming down her face. Okay. It didn't have to end this way, but you chose to make an enemy of me. You know that it is petty of you, but she deserves it. She lets out a frustrated roar and leaves. Good riddance. Alcina comes to find you. How are you doing? What are you going to tell her? Be truthful. To be honest, this sucks. I spent hours of my work. I worked so hard because I wanted to be good for you, and she ruined it all. My dear, you are already so good to me. Alcina's voice is low, almost a purr. It makes your stomach feel funny. Surely she doesn't mean to say it in such a tone. You feel her hand on your shoulder and turn into the touch. Before you know it, she envelops you in a comforting hug. Your face presses against her bosom and you can barely breathe. It's euphoria. You hug her back, and the two of you stay like that for a while until the need of air has you pulling back. Chin up, my dear. Whatever commissions Ioana was going to receive for her art will go to you now. Isn't that too generous? Think of it as repayment for the art she ruined. In fact, it would probably not even equal the value that your art would have reached. Your eyes bulge out. Is my art really that good? Professor Alcina laughs. I do not take the arts lightly. I would not lie about something like this. Her eyes slip down your neck to where her necklace rests against your collarbone. With the hug, it must have slipped out a bit. She picks it up and examines the glint of it under the light. Roses look good on you. What do you respond? Other things could look good on me too. Oh, why get me the necklace? I want to show you my appreciation. You really helped me repair my relationship with my youngest daughter. For that, I can never thank you enough. Alcina looks at the clock on the wall. It's getting late. You should get back to the dorms. I'll write you to commission money then. Wire me the money. What is this? Some sort of illegal transaction? Alcina's face turns to Oni. What did you say? It was a joke. Her face smooths out. My apologies. I don't mean to overreact. It's been a taxing day. She places a hand to her temple. You decide to not overthink her reaction. It's been a rough evening for both of you. You head back to the dorms, and as soon as you step through the door, you receive a message on your account that money has been sent to you. Your eyes bulge at the sum. Ooh. In college student terms, you're rich. In normal people term, you're rich for a few months still. Since finals are over, this means the semester has drawn to an end. Flying back home would be too expensive, and even with the money you've made, you tend to use that money to help pay whatever is left over on loans once you finish college. The scholarships are good, but there are always hidden fees to account for, and living costs. Eating isn't free. And speaking of eating, you decide to splurge a little on food by taking a few friends and your roommates out to eat at a local restaurant. You end up having a great time, laughing over good food and drinks. Angie and Daniela will both be leaving over the month-long break between semesters. Angie's going to help her aunt with a flower shop and maybe go visit her mother, Claudia, who's all the way in Italy if she gets the money to do so. Daniela is going on a Euro trip with her skater bros. You'll be on campus spending time working on your art and improving it even more. With Ioana no longer in the secret society, you feel more at ease being there. The campus ends up clearing out, many students disappearing for the break. It almost feels like a ghost town, not that you mind. You'll have time to focus on your own hobbies. You'll miss taking class with Alcina. However, now that the semester's over, this means the two of you can hang out more accordingly without having to worry about the student-professor dynamic. You do miss her, however. You send her a few texts to see how she's doing, and she hasn't responded in more than 1 or 2 messages. Is she busy? She probably is, considering how important she is in the art world. Because you miss her, you decide to pass by her office to fondly remember the times you'd spent there. When you get there, you see the light is on through the small window that looks into the office. The door is closed. You approach, placing your hand on the handle when a cold voice stops you. It's President Miranda. And what are you going to do about this nuisance? I'll take care of her, like I take care of everything for you. You've messed us up. If she goes through with this and exposes us, we could stand to lose it all. If you had only controlled her more, then none of this would have happened. Professor Alcina sounds hurt and aggravated. I would never want to lose my secret society. I care for the girls there. I built that place with my blood, sweat, and tears. Caring deeply is your downfall. It always was and always will be. It's why she's able to manipulate you like this. Professor Alcina doesn't say anything to this. Miranda's chair scrapes as she pushes herself up and out of the seat. You realize she's heading for the door. What can you do? Hide? Hide. Hide where? Are you going to hide? You glance up and down the hall and there's nowhere to hide. Not even a bathroom to duck into. Those doors in the operating face. Oh! Yes. Pretend you were just walking by. You swivel around and whistle as you walk down the hall slowly. Miranda's heels stabbing into the floor sound intimidating. You refuse the urge to look around. She walks past you, scowling at you suspiciously. You smile and wave at her, the picture of true innocence. You walk all the way to the dorm room and sit there for a little while, needing to calm down the racing in your heart. Did she suspect you? Probably. You wait a little while before you decide to cure curiosity on what the two of them were talking about is too great. You carefully head back to Alcina's office space and find that the door is left open. Alcina sits at her desk, staring stormily at the papers on her desk. She looks up when she sees it's you. Hi. You awkwardly start, not sure how to go about this. Is there something important? I'm in the middle of an important issue. She's never been curt with you before. It stings. I wanted to make sure you were alright. Professor Alcina thins her lips. How much did you overhear? What did you tell her? The truth. I overheard most of it, I think. Alcina sighs heavily. Alcina rubs her temples. I might as well tell you since it could potentially affect you and your income. Ioana is blackmailing me about the society. She says if I don't reinstate her and give her her cut of money, she'll go to the press with me and get me arrested. You can get arrested? But why? It's only a club. It's not just a club, my dear. You're making money off of it, which other clubs cannot. At least not to the extent that we do in this club. There's a chance that I could get into serious trouble over logistics. Besides, it's an exclusive club. Clubs are not allowed to be exclusive because it can look like I'm favoring students over others. I see. So what can you do about this? Asina frowns and looks at you. As she does, a look of enlightenment crosses her features. I think you can help me, my dear. Her expression brightens at this. She stands up, hands on her chin, and she thinks. Ioana hates you, but she also could not resist from trying to take you down even more. If you were to meet with her to give back the money that was previously her commission, that would allow me to meet with her. She refuses to see me in person and only communicates through text. This makes it hard to reason and strike a deal with her. You want me to fake meet with her? Professor Alcina nods her head. She wouldn't expect you to be working with me. She doesn't think we're close enough for that to happen. She'll show up to your meeting and then I can swoop in and speak with her. You don't have to worry about anything else. I'll do it, but I don't know how well I can pull this off. Alcina gives you a relieved smile. Thank you. You have no idea how important this is to me. Saying you'll do it and then actually doing it are two different things. You feel sick with nerves and rub your hands together. You're waiting for Iona to arrive to the classroom. It's been unlocked with Alcina's key. It was decided this would be the best place for privacy. The door is open and an envelope of lace sits heavy in your pocket. You look out the window and try to calm your nerves. You got my money? You turn around to see that she's walked in. She does a sweep of the room and, satisfied it's just the two of you, steps in and closes the door behind her. I do. But I just want to know, why are you doing all this? Why are you blackmailing the society? Alcina told you? Suddenly, her suspicion grows. You can't have that. You need her to stay put, so Alcina can have time to come over and finish the rest of this. She told me I had to return the money. When asked why, she said you were blackmailing the society. That's all I know. Iona scoffs. Right, so I get painted as the bad guy, even though she's running a money laundering scheme using students to help fund the president's pet cult members. Your jaw drops at this. What? Iona laughs cruelly. Oh, you didn't know? No, you didn't, and you can't tell if she's being truthful or not. Is she just messing with you? This whole school is just one big farce. They recruit students here with their full scholarships, and then they slowly turn their brains into mush so they'll become cult members. And if they can't convert them, then they'll just bleed them dry of their talent until they can't make any more money for their cult schemes. Your stomach turns at this. This all sounds so outlandish. Could it be true? Enough! The door slams open, and her powerful voice cuts through the air. She looks pissed. Shut your mouth, Ioana. Ioana looks scared to be caught, but she doesn't back down. Or what? If anything happens to me, the media will find out. Alcina ignores her and turns to you. There's a softer expression on her face. Sweetling, you need to leave now. I have to talk with Ioana. Question her? Is everything Irwana said true? Alcina's face hardens. Do you think me capable of such things? Do you? You're not certain anymore. All I know is that you care for her deeply. I just want you to tell me the truth. Not now, my dear. You nod your head and head for the door. Don't go! Yeah, you're fucked. I can see Georgia O'Keeffe's flower. You intend to leave, but something doesn't sit right with you. You dig your heels, fury building inside you along the swirling maelstrom of anger and hurt. What's she talking about? Tell me the truth, Alcina. Alcina's face falters before she strengthens her resolve. Ioana is telling the truth. She rumbles out, unable to meet your eyes. Miranda is using the school as a front for her cult to further her machinations. I know not what exactly she wishes to do, but I am a cog in her machine. I supply her with money for her operations in exchange for a new purpose in life. And that purpose is lying and manipulating others. Are you mad at me? I'm confused and hurt. Why would you do all this? Professor Alcina sighs, suddenly looking exhausted and burdened with the world's weight. My darling girl, I wish I knew. I thought I was part of something good, something grand. Mother Miranda promised change, promised salvation for this world. But her methods have become increasingly cruel. I no longer think I agree with them. Then you need to leave, to free yourself. It's not as easy as you make it seem. Escaping a cult is very difficult, especially when there are eyes and ears everywhere. I'll help you. Why would you help me? Because at this your voice wavers. If truths are being spoken today, then you might as well spit it all out. I'm in love with you. A loud retching noise reminds the both of you that Ioana is still there. Give me a moment, darling. I have to deal with our little troublemaker here. We'll speak later. You leave the room at this as Ioana screeches out, "Don't touch me!" You close the door on the scene and head back to the dorms. You pace around the room, nervously wondering what will come of your future now. A few hours later, there's a knock on your door and you open it up. Alcina stands on the other end. May I come in? You let her in and close the door behind her. What happened with Ioana? You don't have to worry about it. It's been taken care of. She turned into a sculpture. You need to start telling me the truth from now on. Alcina's face pinches distastefully as if she will argue with you. If we're telling the truth, then I must admit that you are not alone in your feelings. Your eyes widen at this. Despite trying to deny my feelings for you, they haven't gone away. You have captured my heart, dearest one. Your cheeks flamed red. Alcina likes you back. I wish I had been able to confess under more favorable circumstances, but at least in this manner, everything's out on the table. You know, the situation I'm currently embroiled in. What choices you make next is up to you. If you wish to never have anything to do with me again, I'll understand. A little cult madness won't scare me off. Asina raises her brows. A pleased smile, like the one a cat wears when it catches prey, stretches her lips. I knew you were different. This calls for a celebration. Our first date, if you will indulge me. A date? With the hottest woman alive? You would be insane to turn this down. Leave the planning to me. Be ready for tomorrow at 6 p.m. She leaves with a wink from thrown over her shoulder. You can barely wait for tomorrow. Despite all the horrid truths you found, the fact Alcina cares for you washes them all away into oblivion. After all, love is blind. In this case, it makes you blind to everything but your love of this stunning woman. I'm so dead. You're dressed for tomorrow, lamenting your lack of choice in fancy clothing. Alcina comes to the door, holding out an outfit. It's golden and it sparkles. She herself is wearing an outfit reminiscent of the flappers from the 1920s, a fur coat wrapped around her shoulder. I brought you something to wear. Where are we going? She smiles, wagging a finger at you, indicating it's a surprise. You quickly change and she leads you out the door to the car that will drive you to there. The ride over is nerve-wracking. Should you have gotten her flowers or chocolates? What do you get a woman who has it all? Don't be so tense, darling, she says, tipping her head back, hand under your chin. You'll wrinkle up your adorable face. Your cheeks flare with heat and you chuckle shyly. Oh, we're going to the bar! The car is mercifully short and deposits the two of you in front of a low, dark building with a bouncer in front. When he sees Alcina approach, he moves aside without a word. The inside turns out to be a jazz club, the air thick with the scent of cigarette smoke. Lights inside the bar cast a bright glow over the bartender. The lower section is full of tables, people smoking and drinking as they watch and listen to the musicians on stage. Take a seat, darling. I'll be back with the drinks. You sit down at the tables, enjoying the smooth jazz that plays. This place is fancy, and most likely, the drinks and food will be expensive. You feel bad about Alcina footing the bill, but then again, she probably has the money for it. You'll indulge in her indulging you. She returns a while later and whispers to you about what the best food on the menu is as you sip on the sparkling concoction. It's sweet and the bubbles fizz nicely. The two of you make small talk for a little while as you wait for the food to arrive. My family is originally from Romania. Grandma moved to the US. With everything that happened, I moved back. Are you bilingual? I speak many languages Romanian, French, and Italian. Are you self taught? No, I had a tutor teach me when I was younger. I gave my daughters tutors too, but only Cassandra really picked up the other languages since they would help her with her acting career. Bella prefers studying dead languages, and Daniela has mastered the art of internet slang. The food arrives, and the two of you focus on it and enjoying the music. Alcina orders more drinks, and you find yourself relaxing. The evening ends before you know it, and she stands by her car, dark eyes hooded. Care to join me at my manor? The meaning behind the invitation is clear. Who knows what the future at this school will look like, given it's all really a cult? Why waste time when the time is short? You want this, and she does too. Yes. The car sets off, and now a different tension falls between you two. Her hand falls on your knee, and you can feel the warmth of it sending a tendril of excitement trembling through your frame. It feels hot in the car, and you lower the window, the night breeze blowing your hair astray. The mansions appear slowly, and the tension in the air intensifies. This night will ruin you, of that you are certain, and you couldn't be more eager for it. Wine? Asina makes a show of being welcoming host, even if it's clear she won't have the patience for a glass of wine. You shake your head no, mouth dry, her eyes flash. Upstairs. Her voice is commanding, and you jolt forward to obey her. Following her up the stairs, as soon as you enter the room, she slams the door shut behind you and leans over you, pressing you into the door. Her hands wander up from your abdomen to your chest, to your neck, and then to your face. She tips it up before realizing she's going to have to duck down a lot in order to kiss you. Thinking better of it, she leans down and lifts you up by your thighs, spinning you to the door. Ma'am, much better. She purrs and leans in to kiss you. You melt into the kiss, into her touch. She doesn't hold back, demanding entrance to your mouth to slip her tongue in, and it's a very skilled tongue. You can't wait to feel it on other places that need much more dire attention. You hum happily into the kiss, allowing her to take the lead. Alcina dominates the kiss, nipping at your bottom lip, leaving lipstick marks on your chin, down your neck to your collarbone. She grumbles with annoyance when your clothing stops her. She lifts one hand into the front of your outfit and rips it right open. You gasp in shock at the sheer power behind that move. She's going to absolutely break you. Condolences to your back tomorrow, and thank you for supporting you all these years. Alcina drives back in, leaving red marks everywhere. Soon your pants begin to impede her progress. She figures out what is going to happen at the same time as she yanks them down roughly by the rip of fabric. Now that you're nearly naked, she carries you over to her giant bed, throwing you onto it. She drops her fur coat, left only in her dress. Take it off. You manage to croak out. She chuckles. It's not kind. You're not in charge here. She crawls over to you on the bed, straddling your waist. Now let's put that mouth to good use. Oh my god! I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. Break may have only been a month long, but you and Alcina have made the most of it. The two of you kept your dates as secret as possible to prevent Miranda from finding out. Neither of you want to think of the consequences she had if she's seen you two together. Alcina has been busy, in between running her wine business and her art galleries. On occasion, she had let you accompany her to the wine meetings where, glasses perched on her nose, she had looked like over the numbers and cut down businessmen in fancy suits trying to rob her of her money. You're often in awe at her confidence and with the way she goes with what she wants. Oftentimes, you are what she wants. The relationship is new and exciting and leaves the both of you lying in bed exhausted. Alcina has a voracious appetite, and you are more than happy to provide, even if your back is going to give out one day. Lounging on the king-size bed, sheets tangled around naked bodies, is where the two of you can be found now. I want you to have dinner with me. The way she says it implies it'll be special, but why should it be? You've had dinner together many times. Alright. I want my daughters to be there, so I can introduce us as a couple to them. Oh! Oy, oy, oy. Okay. This is a big step, a very important step. You can already imagine the chaos. You're almost shocked that Alcina wants to do this with you already. Are you sure now is a good time? What if we wait until I graduate college? I cannot wait that long. If something or someone is important to me, I want it right away. Waiting for you to finish my class was an exercise in patience. I'm older than all three of them. Do they have to call me their parent? You might be older than them, but you have no intention of being called that. It would be weird. Daniela is your roommate. Alcina laughs. No, they don't. Just my partner. I don't mind doing the dinner. I worry about their reactions. Alcina's smiles drop. She's worried about the reactions too. Instead of voicing her concern, she reaches over and squeezes your hand in hers, silently taking strength from you. The day of the dinner arrives. A few days before break is set to end. The siblings are all back on campus per their mother's orders. You feel a pit yawning open inside your stomach. The food smells delicious, but you feel like you won't be able to eat any. Alcina herself has only sipped on the wine, and you have to gently wrest the 6 glass from her hands before she gets tipsy before dinner. Belle arrives first, early by half an hour. Alcina whisks her away, and they have a chat in one of the rooms. You've decided to stay out of the way for now, opting for more of a reveal-style entrance because it'll be like ripping off the band-aid in one go. Daniela arrives second, right on time. Cassandra arrives last and late, crying out, "I'm fashionably late," when her mother scolds her. Once all the Dimitrescus are settled and table and starting dinner, given the sound of scraping forks and plates, you step out. Ah! You feel awkward and nervous as hell, but you love Alcina and you're willing to do this for her. I'm so sorry. All three girls look at you, questioning in their eyes. Alcina clears her throat. Girls, I invited you over for dinner tonight because I wanted to announce something important. Alcina holds out her hand and you take it. We're dating. You've got game. Cassandra, stop! You don't know who she's referring to. She raises her wine glass in a toast. Congrats to the new relationship. Yes, I suppose congrats. But that sounds like she couldn't care less. And she turns back to her food now that the initial shock has worn off. The only one that looks heartbroken is Daniela. She's staring at you with such hurt that you want to look away, but you can't. You promised her you wouldn't get involved with her mother, and you broke that promise. I can't believe you did this. Her voice is tiny and trembling. The utensils in her hands shake. Daniela, we never intended for this to happen. Daniela clenches her jaw. No, they never do. She barely spits this out and she rises from her seat and leaves the house without another word. What's crawled up her ass and died? Must you speak of ass at the table? You're only mad because you don't get any. Cassandra cackles. The two sisters begin an argument, but you're still stuck on Daniela's abrupt departure. Alcina seems similarly struck by the action. Her shoulders are tense and she lets go of your hand to reach for another glass of wine. She'll come around. But even as you say the words, it feels like a hollow truth. You once helped Alcina repair the relationship with Daniela, and now you've ruined it once more. You feel awful. Alcina doesn't say anything to you, and you sit down to enjoy the ashen taste of your hard-won dinner spot at the Dimitrescu table. The new semester starts. You're hurt to find out Daniela requested a room change. I mean, that's obvious. She's no longer going to be your roommate, and she's taken Angie with her. You try not to let it bother you, but the dorm feels empty without them. Instead, you're assigned Elena as your roommate, though. You never even see her. If not for the lingering scent of coffee in the apartment, you wouldn't even think she ever existed. You suppose her reactions are fair. You hurt Daniela and probably Angie with your callous way of handling things. But love changes everything, and it changed Alcina too. One evening after the end of your spring semester classes finds you and Alcina pondering the issue of the cult again. She's in a particular foul mood that evening, fueled by something Mother Miranda has done and exasperated by the 2 bottles of wine she has drunk. I give her everything, and this is how she repays me, with deceit and lies. You try to calm her down. Listen to me, we can help each other. You need to tell her you're leaving the cult. It's not that simple. I've already told you that, and if I tell her I'm leaving, then she'll come after everything I hold dear. The only way to get out would be to plan to run, taking everyone with me. Then we run, whenever you're ready. You hold her hand in yours, stroking soothing circles down the back of it. Her temper begins to flare and then cool down. After a while, Alcina curls her hand under your chin. Thank you, my dear. You keep me level-headed. After a few grateful kisses, you have no choice but to head back to the campus to finish your work for class. The dorm is dark and empty without your usual roommates. Truly, you miss the obnoxious music come from Angie's room or the constant alcoholic fumes from her. You even miss Daniela's messy clothes on the floor and the loud chortling of her and her skater friends when they came over. Boop! However, it turns out today the dorm is not as empty as previously thought. A figure in black sits at the table. She's wearing an odd priestess-like outfit with golden detail, but you know who it is from a painting you've seen of her. Mother Miranda. Your heart races in your chest. Mother Miranda rises from the table and begins to circle you as you stand frozen in fear. It seems a snake has gotten into my lovely garden and is whispering its poisoned words into someone's ear. Your heart, your hands tremble before you can even utter a plea. Something jabs you in the back of your neck and you fall to the ground. Uy, uy, uy. Okay. Why have you done this? An angry yet hurt voice asks this. Slowly, your consciousness returns and you peel open your eyes with difficulty. Your limbs feel heavy, and when you try to move them, you find you can't. You look down and see you are tied to a chair. Chain sways nearby, squeaking rustily. You know why I've done this. A calm voice replies. You look into the dark of the room, squinting to try and see what's going on. There's a lone light bulb that illuminates the space just barely. You can make out gold glimmering nearby. Miranda. Miranda kidnapped you from your dorm. She has to have tied you up here. The angry person is Alcina. She towers over Miranda, seething with anger. You open your mouth to try and say something, but it feels too dry, feels heavy, as if rocks are there. You don't have the strength to do more than keep one eye propped open and watch the scene. You were distract They were distracting you, turning you away from me. You were the one turning me away from you. All I've done for you. And you don't even care. I thought I was important to you. Miranda clicks her tongue as if Alcina is a misbehaving child. See? They have poisoned you. Made you think things about my actions that are not true. It's why I must cut out the rot. Oh, it's me. I'm the rot. I refuse to. Then you can watch. Oh. Miranda turns her back to Alcina, pouring out what appears to be a very long knife. Miranda should not have turned her back. With a snarl, Alcina whirls her around by the shoulder. Get your hands off of me. Stay away from them. Miranda swipes at Alcina, and Alcina reaches out in retaliation, hand closing around Miranda's neck in an effort to subdue her. Alcina's head tilts. Alcina's head hits the naked light bulb, and the lights sway erratically. Grunts of struggling hitting your ears. You close your eyes against the nauseating flickering of the light, and when you open them, you see and then hear the thud of the body as it falls to the ground. There's a spatter of blood that drips down, the light bulbs coming to a slow stop, casting shadows across Alcina's face. Her hair is mussed, and there's horror and fury on her face, chest heaving with adrenaline. Her hand is pressed against her side where the handle of a knife sticks out. At her feet lies Miranda's body, still. Black and blue bruises are on her neck, her eyes stare up unblinkingly. Alcina lets out a frustrated sob, but she doesn't have time to grieve. Doesn't have time to understand the ramifications of her actions quite yet. She stumbles over to you and frees you from your ties. You slump off the chair, unable to sustain yourself. Even with her wounded side, she lifts you up into her arms, holding you tightly to her. Donna will know what to do. Is that the last thing you hear before darkness pulls you in once more? You awake in a dark room a few hours later, the ticking of the clock filling the silence. You sit up, grateful to be able to move your body again. It still feels weak, but whatever was in your system is gone. You feel your way through the dark to the silver light through the slightly open door. You squint against the brightness, finding Alcina sitting with her shoulders slumped at a table with Donna, the florist. Two steaming mugs of tea sit between them. I know what will happen now, Donna. Alcina laments and winces as she pulls a muscle in her side. It's bandaged up, with spots of blood flecked in. Donna holds her hand, giving her word of support. Miranda's gone, and with it, the wrath of her entire cult is on her head. We'll manage. We have to. Her voice is raspy, but it draws both of their attention. Alcina looks haggard, and there are bags under her eyes. It won't be easy. And she's right. The ramifications of all of this are too much to think about right now. Who knows what the future will hold, but you have feelings that as long as you two are together, nothing will be impossible. I'm counting on it. And Alcina offers you a tired but small smile. Resident Lover. Present to you by Team Avia, Death Finches, Art and Idea, Arlanor, Coding and Sound, B, not author, Cider Spots, Vizzy. Thank you for playing Resident Lover. Ah, yes. Very nice. I don't know if there are other routes. I got the route I wanted, but I don't know if there are other routes. But yeah, I had fun. I hope you had fun too. It's a little longer than I thought it would be. But I enjoyed myself. I'll put the link to the game in the description, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.